It's time for another construction update. So I flew my drone today. The park looked absolutely gorgeous. I flew at 9 a.m. before the park opened. I'll never fly my drone while the park is operating or between the times of 9:30 and 10 when, they're starting to run Behemoth. Behemoth wasn't running while I was doing this. And as you can tell, my drone is really far back, a lot farther back than it typically is. But to the point. You have Splashworks, Lakeside Lagoon coming along really nicely. You have the seating area underneath that shade structure next to the change rooms for the Lakeside Lagoon. I guess that's for the parents. It's going to look so nice. And then you have the lockers, which is across from the change rooms, closest to my drone right there. And then you have Lakeside Lagoon itself. The area is looking really nice. I actually think we're going to end up with one of the nicest looking water parks in the Cedar Fair chain once this is done. So that's super exciting. I also think the construction site is looking phenomenal. So as you can see, the path stretches all the way over to Vortex's turnaround, and then there's a little viewing area. It's hard to see from here, but you'll see it in my footage coming up. Then you have 3 entry points into the Timberwolf Forest. You have one for footers. You have one pathway that's been chainsawed that follows along the drop of Timberwolf, and then you have one right next to the smoking area. With Frontier Canada being kind of like rumored now, the rumor is starting to circulate that the Fly could potentially be on the kind of like re-theming block, if let's call it, as Frontier Canada might stretch from there all the way over to Minebuster and engulf Whitewater Canyon and Timberwolf Falls and Flying Canoes. So what do you guys think the re-theme could be? And do you think it will be re-themed? Comment below. So here is one of the entry points for Timberwolf Falls, as you just saw. And then you have this viewing area they're working on. They're working really hard on this viewing area. It's now like, as you can see, so yesterday compared to today, they're just stacking rocks. And a lot of footers are being poured as well. The area keeps having footers poured, it looks like in the early afternoon. And then you have this forest area and red tape stretching all the way down. I'm extremely interested to see how that plays out and what could possibly be going on down there. So here they're digging the path. So as you see, there's the viewing area, and then the path leads straight towards like the Splashworks entrance. And I'm assuming this is both the new path and also the pathway underneath what is Valraven North, let's call it now. Normally you don't see this kind of stuff done until after the coaster's built, but obviously they need a path to get you to Splashworks. So this is that. It looks really nice. It's going to look super nice with the coaster going over it as well, and I can't wait. As usual, nothing much going on back here at all. Just a lot of orange flags and poles and stakes and stuff throughout that forest. So that's interesting. Possibly maybe a restaurant or theming down the road. There's a look at, the structure. So here's an overall look of this new pathway that's formed. So as you see, it goes all the way over to that viewing area we were just talking about. And that seems to be the focus right now, along with the station area. So as you can see, you have really tall footers for the station. So typically dive coasters are raised above ground level. So that matches up with that. So we know that we probably have an elevated station. In fact, those are really tall footers too. So is it a really elevated station? It might be because you have the pathway underneath it. Lots of work going on in Splashworks. And I mean, when I say that, I mean like this coaster gets really close to Barracuda Blaster. Like they're digging like right next to the kind of like the lazy river. So I'm assuming that's for the lift hill supports. As we know, or as we assume, turns out of the station and it climbs up on an angle towards the tunnel over Vortex. So that'll look really cool, especially on Lazy River. I think the area is going to look phenomenal. I don't think this dive coaster is going to be like extraordinary in terms of length. I think it's going to be a basic dive coaster, and I think it's going to break some records. So don't get like upset or anything. I think this dive coaster has some records to break, and I think we are getting a really cool dive. And as you can tell, they're spending a fortune on theming. The area already, and it's not even close to done, is starting to take shape into this Canadian kind of Canadiana vibe, and I'm loving it. Like already buying my 2019 season pass right now. I'm kidding. But yeah, like super exciting. Basically it's just like a lot of footer work, a lot of landscaping as Splashworks opens next weekend. So I think we're going to see this area. You know how they wrapped up the tunnel. I think we're going to see the same thing happen. They're going to really bust a move and finish this. Bust a move. And finish this construction. But as you can see, if you look closely, there's a lot of footers in there. Lots of low to the ground footers there, and I'm super interested. Like, I just want to know the layout. Like the construction trailer, I swear they do it on purpose now because it's just like wide open every day, like all the doors and windows. And I'm literally like just like trying to see if I can see anything because I'm so curious. But yeah, I'm gonna be back at the park tomorrow because the Timberwolf Bridge opens up finally. I'm gonna be there first thing in the morning, trying to see if I can get a close look at those brand new footers in Timberwolf Falls and any tree removal. But hopefully you enjoyed this update. Give this video a share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much. Have a good one, guys.